Hallo, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, khushamdeed. Ji ayanu, goedemorgen, ishpata.
Pakhairagale, ni hao, june shumbe, washbale, ohio gunzaimas, guten morgen, ola, boyor, privyet, kaifa hal, halishuma chatore, ahlan wasal, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, suavia, balli karaya. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very superb, the very purple, Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today? Jummah Mubarak to you guys and to you as well.
Thank you so much. I'm doing absolutely great.
Wow.
And I hope you are too. And I hope
am.
you're healthy as well. How are your morning allergies? I'll tell you why I'm asking. Because ever since we're doing this show, you and I talk about it whenever winter starts.
Yeah.
And we sort of promise each other that we're going to get flu shots. In all honesty, I haven't gotten them still. Have you?
Exactly. So, just yesterday, and thank you very much for bringing it up as well. So, just yesterday, I was actually taking a shower. And while you take a shower, you do think. You do a lot of thinking.
Of course.
So, thankfully, alhamdulillah, there was enough hot water for me to think and then shower as well.
Okay.
So, when I was showering, I was like, you know what, I should actually get a flu shot. And then I was like, okay, I think I really need to ask my doctor. And only if he allows me to get it, I will get it. And then all of a sudden, there was this memory which shot up into my mind, and it said that you have already asked your doctor, and he said that I'm not really sure whether you should be getting it or not because of the underlying medical conditions.
All right.
So I was like that, okay, the body has a natural process of, kind of changing the entire mucus in your body. And that's what happens during the flu, do you know? So all of that which comes out of the body is actually mucus.
All
so
right.
the body is making new mucus as soon as the older mucus is leaving. So I thought, hey,
Sounds
you know what,
healthy?
let's be open to newer mucus more rather than having the old one inside you as well. But yes, I think that, it's a lot of inconvenience whenever somebody gets flu, and it's all because of the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that every now and then your nose is just leaking. And since it's winters, so somewhere on the mustache, somewhere here, I know that I'm going somewhere else today. It's a morning show, so let's not do that. But if you guys feel like getting a flu shot, make sure that you actually consult your doctor in the first place and only then go for it. What about you? Have you gotten it?
I haven't. That's what I said. We always talk about it and we don't get it. But yes, definitely. Because with the changing weather, Shahzad, everyone I meet, and regardless of their age, everyone is sick. First of all, I really hope and pray all of you are going to have an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Of course, we're heading into a weekend. I forgot about it. Wow, super excited now. Other than that, it's not just the winter flu going on, and we speak about it so many times, almost every day since the last 2 years. The pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we start realizing it's going down and we're getting into a safer today, it's not happening, it gets worse, and there's a new variant and whatnot. And I do remember celebrating a few weeks back that Alhamdulillah, Pakistan did not have any case of Omicron variant over here. But now, Shahzad, apparently there are some reported cases.
Exactly. So what they're saying is that, they've actually detected that it might be Omicron virus, ladies and gentlemen, but they are actually doing the genome study. So let's see, we'll still have to wait for it. And so it actually happened in Karachi. I think it was 6 people that they detected might have the Omicron variant, and they were traveling from South Africa and England. And other than that, I think down there in Balochistan, ladies and gentlemen, they actually kind of figured out that there are more than 12 people who might have the Omicron variant as well. But first things first, now before we actually speak about Omicron, while we were talking about flu shots as well, ladies and gentlemen, imagine that we live in a country where people are not even willing to go get themselves vaccinated. So imagine that's the state of our mentality, where we certainly do not want to protect others by protecting ourselves in the first place. Imagine, hey, you know what, we're all humans.
For free, man.
Yeah, we need to do that. And I think even our religion actually tells us to do that as well.
Yes.
To protect others, we really need to kind of protect their rights as well. Imagine that all the elderly people, God forbid, for all of those people who haven't really gotten themselves a single shot of the vaccine for COVID, let me tell you this, God forbid if you kind of get the virus and you transfer it to your parents, and one of them unfortunately is not able to survive it, how would you feel throughout your life? How would you feel your entire life? You will always be feeling guilty that, hey, you know what, I should have gotten myself vaccinated. But the best part over here is that, alhamdulillah, 50% of the population of the total country has actually got at least one dose of the vaccination, which is great. And we should actually be thankful that we're still getting the vaccines, because there are still more than 50, 60 countries who haven't received a single dose of the vaccine.
Imagine that. It's absolutely insane. But I really want to be in conversation with an expert so we can learn more about the variant itself and see the prevalent conditions in Pakistan, if it's spreading widely or not. But I feel like Shahzad has something to say, sir.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, first things first, because the kind of research we have done and the doctors we've been in conversation with, we have made sure that they're going to be on the show as well. And even today, we will be in conversation with that particular doctor who actually told us about the Omicron variant, that it's not going to be that dangerous. Luckily, we are very lucky that we have him online with us. So he'll
Yes.
be joining us all the way from States. We're very lucky that we've been joined by the assistant professor of medicine from the University of Arizona. He happens to be Dr. Imran Sharif, and he's contributing quite a lot towards getting the vaccines over here in Pakistan as well. Hello, Dr. Saab. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Shazad and Shazad, and looking forward for.
Wow, wonderful, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, the last time you were here in Pakistan, it was great to see you, and it was very reassuring that you met a lot of health officials within the health ministry as well. You all the way went and saw the president himself as well, and then you made sure that that Pakistan will be getting their fair share of the vaccination, which is great. But before we kind of move down to that part or that bit, I want to ask you about the Omicron variant in the first place. Whether is it really deadly the way they are projecting or promoting it all over the news? Is it to scare people so that they get vaccinated, or is it really that deadly?
I mean, I think it's Omicron variant, right, which just out in last few weeks, still in the learning phase, but there were few studies that were reported where they were showing what data they have available in
I'm going to request the
that.
control room over here. Dr. Saab, I'm sorry we have a connection issue with you. Your voice is breaking up. We'll get you back in just a minute. I think the call dropped. But your question, I think it makes you think, right? Because every other few months later, there's a new variant, and you sort of wish that it's not true, but it's worse and even sort of severe than the previous one. We really hope it isn't so. But, well, we really don't know. Again, let's see if Dr. Saab is back with us. Is he?
Exactly. So he's not back. I think that we are actually having issues, and then
It's all right.
in particular, if you actually have, or if you are online on your cell phone, there are a lot of people calling you as soon as they see you on television. I've gone through that myself as well. But what I want to say over here is that imagine that no news came out from South Africa of people dying because of Omicron virus. That is something that we particularly need to kind of look at, because that's where people are saying that it's the origin of Omicron, but that's not true. Because I think that people in Africa were lucky enough to figure out that there's a newer variant, and they shared it with the world, that too well in time, so that everybody can kind of protect themselves. So I think that in days to come, there will be a lot more restrictions in traveling now. And just yesterday,
Yeah.
Shiza, in one day, in UK, they had more than 500,000 cases
Oh my
being
God.
reported, and 100,000 cases which were taken to hospital as well. And they
But
said,
just,
the news
yeah.
said that it's almost 900,000 cases as well. We're
I,
very lucky that we actually have Dr. Saab back online with us. Dr. Saab, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and
And we thought that, that the Wi-Fi signals in USA will be so strong that we could hear you all properly. But Dr. Saab, okay, continuing with what I asked you, do you think that this variant is deadly?
first of all, simple answer: most likely it's not that easily transmissible, because right now the most predominant variant in America and also Europe and UK. So in America right now we're running 160,000 cases per day. The highest peak is between 275. So we are hitting this, especially with the holidays, travel, Christmas, New Year. So what this doing is it's making people and sick to an extent that they cannot go to work once they can't go to school. It does impact you in different ways. Hospital capacity right is not full in states, uh, but we are preparing for this because things can change. There was a modeling study published today in one of the, that America will be close to 2 million cases in a few weeks. So concerning. Uh, it we will learn more about the hospitalization and hospital cases will increase. So I think probably by 1st January we should know very well whether this variant has caused significant damage to the humans and also the health system as they come.
All right,
All
so
right.
Dr. Saab, we still are struggling to kind of hear you clearly as well, but somewhat I've gathered what you're trying to say, that there are more than 2 million cases, hospitals are not at their full capacity, so it's not that deadly. That's what you're trying to say, and it's wonderful. But I've heard that, this Omicron variant, I don't know whether if I'm correct with this terminology, thrombosis, I think that's what they call that, it occurs all over your body, and then God forbid you're not able to breathe or something of that sort. Is that the kind of reaction, God forbid, people are going to get if they get the Omicron variant?
I think I missed middle part of your question. So if you will just be kind enough
I
to
think there
repeat
is a
it for me.
condition which is, I think there is a condition which is referred to as thrombosis, something like that. I'm not really very sure about it.
Or simply saying, is this variant going to be symptomatic? What should we be looking for?
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I think so. Means the symptoms are not different than the SARS-CoV-2 or Delta variant or Alpha or Lambda. The same symptom, which is fever, chills, body ache, sore throat, loss of taste, diarrhea, upset stomach. So just very typical symptom which you see in other COVID viruses and also flu-like symptoms.
All
All
right,
right.
so thank you very much, Imran sir, for being with us. I think we're having an issue, a technical issue with the signals as well. So even we cannot hear you properly. So for the audiences to have a greater experience, I think we'll have you over on
Right.
Skype once again as well, after we have sorted this technical issue from our end, and you can sort it out from your end as well. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you, and very reassuring of you while you said, or while you were saying that, hey, you know what, it's not really that deadly. All right, thank you very much
We
for
really
giving us
hope.
that hope. This is something we needed early in the morning. Thank you very much for being with us. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, with that,
We are heading out to a short break, and when we come back, we have something very interesting for you. You have to really stay tuned to find out what.
yes,
But before we do go out, still sorry,
yeah, I was
sticking
in
to
the
the
same expression.
I
Yeah.
get still sticking to the vaccination. So there are some countries, including Israel, who are now getting on to the fourth phase of vaccinations. What do we call it when you have to get the third or the fourth jab?
Boosters?
Booster.
Yeah.
Yes, they're on to the fourth one as well. Our country announced that if you're done with the 2 doses, go for the third one after 6 months, or ask your doctor. I think it's about time. Do that, please.
I think we have inborn boosters.
Maybe that. On this note, we're heading out to a short break. I'll go get my coffee. Stay tuned. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Welcome back to Well This Morning. I really hope this was a small break. But like I always advocate, I hope you guys had a very healthy plate of breakfast, which makes me question you, what did you have for breakfast?
Well, all right, so it was a 3 slices of brown bread, then there was a little bit of pulse, and then there was a little bit of half-fried egg, and a bit of salt,
Auntie's
and
giving
a tinge of black pepper.
Quite some variety.
And a cup of tea. I even had, alhamdulillah, shukr, alhamdulillah, meatballs in front of me, and then I even had minced meat. But I only chose to eat pulse today because I had a lot of meat yesterday.
Now I want to speak.
So I was like, okay, let's have a balance. Yes.
Now I want to speak. I really wasn't going to go there. But imagine, dude, now just listening to, I'm envious first of all. I really want to wake up to go to my work where my dress is ready, my wardrobe, my shoes, everything's ready. And then there's a plate of breakfast for me waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, it only happens with moms, right? Mashallah.
It does, alhamdulillah, but obviously, when you grow up, your mums or, everybody at home is just a little more elderly. So I think all you need to do is from whatever you're earning, you just have to spare a little amount so that you can get these services for yourself.
Early in the morning, Shazad?
Early in the morning, yes, obviously, if you're going to
6:30?
tell somebody that, hey, you know what, you have to make me breakfast and that's the amount you'll be getting paid. Breakfast is going to be in the morning,
Okay.
yes?
Okay,
no?
got it.
But other than that,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people who are actually doing a lot of stuff, other than focusing on breakfast.
Sorry, man, I was
think what
hungry,
they're
I
doing
guess.
is that they're trying to outwork each and every individual who's been working with them as well. And I think that that's the true concept of hard work or probably sheer dedication. Because this is something which I heard from Elon Musk in an interview where Elon Musk said that no matter how bad you guys will feel about it, but nobody can outwork me. So he says that even if it takes
like
me
it.
48 hours non-stop
Yeah.
to do something which is on my goals list or which is something on my plans list, I will make sure that nobody outworks me. And that was such a beautiful concept that I actually kind of got hooked to it. And no matter what happens, that, your younger brother has actually written lyrics for me. So the song is complete and we will be releasing the rap song video, inshallah, very soon and somewhere in January.
And I'll do a cameo. I'm joking.
Yeah, you can do a cameo, why not? But ladies and gentlemen, there's a bunch of people who actually like to work hard and work harder every single day.
Right.
Not just that, wherever they perform, wherever they are always going to leave an impact because of the kind of personality they have, the kind of values they have, and the kind of talent they possess. And nobody can stop them from experiencing or probably bringing in front of you different types of expressions, which may be through screen drama, which may be through singing songs, or which may be just through modeling or by writing or by painting. There's so many modes of expression that this gentleman is actually good at all of them.
Which is absolutely true. I agree with you. But doesn't it make you think, Shazad, that thank God we exist in such times where options are available, right? Earlier, when you had to wait literally outside the director's office to at least get an audition, now I feel like maybe because of the internet, because of the, now that we are a global village as well, don't you feel like everything is sort of open to it? Now, the gentleman that we're talking about, the art that he produces, it is actually accessible to people across borders as well. Someone sitting in, across 7 seas or oceans may actually be able to, look at his work, and the recognition that you get because of your work, it must make you feel so good as well. Yeah. When you find out who he is, he's lately, by the way, really popular because of his role he's playing in Parizad as well. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of memes. I wish I took some out, people have really been making memes for his character too.
And I think I've loved the way he's actually played a character in Kurbate as well. So we will be certainly talking about that. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, this is not for the very first time that somebody who's actually got a degree of finance all the way from Australia wanted to sing in the first place. But then eventually when the cameras, I actually got to know about his face and the way he looks, they thought that, okay, you know what, he should act first and then probably if he feels like singing, he can sing to then as well. So, talking about that, Atif Aslam is actually featuring in a drama. Umair Jaswal is featured in a drama. Uzair Jaswal is featured in a drama. Junaid Khan is actually, he's a great actor. He's a singer too as well. Let's talk about Farhan. Farhan is a singer and an actor too as well. And we have another nominee today. Well, first things first, what we're going to do is that Hum Music actually released his song as well. It's his debut song. Please make sure that everybody out there is going to share love with him. The title of the song is Tu Mil Jaye To. So let's go ahead. The video is perfect and it is going to be a global hit, inshallah. So let's take a look at this wonderful music video by this amazing gentleman. And then once you guys will come back, he will appear right in front of you all. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, and after a long, long time, I've actually heard a beautiful song and I've watched a beautiful video with the concept, and it certainly did look like a short film as well.
It did.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we have actually been joined by the star boy himself. He happens to be a musician and an actor already, which he obviously has made sure that everybody's going to know. He is Mr. Ahmed Taha. Ghani, hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you, star boy?
Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for such a gracious introduction. God knows I don't deserve it, but thank you so much. I'm going to take it anyway.
Alhamdulillah, and the amount of hard work you put in, inshallah, in days to come, I think it's just going to get better. And this is what we want for everybody as well, and that's the entire concept of outworking each other. And I think that's important.
Yes.
But Ahmed Taha Ghani, the last time you were here, we actually spoke about the kind of acting you wanted to do and how you wanted to portray all of those characters and do justice with that. Now imagine that, and I've seen it from my own eyes that, from very little chunk of people actually get to kind of produce first ever song in the video the way you have. And you were one of those lucky people that that your music has been well received by the audiences. I was just looking at the YouTube and the numbers were huge as well. What do you have to say about such a success? Alhamdulillah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I think the credit goes to my team. And I was very fortunate that I had such an amazing team standing behind me and actually believing in my vision, because those people, those hardworking individuals, all of them very young, all of them just starting out in their careers, they've actually came together very, very perfectly, and we were able to produce something of this standard. And obviously it was a very long journey. This entire thing took us a year. From the very inception of the song, even though I came up with the composition a long time ago, but for it to be fruitful, for it to actually come in the shape it is presented now, it actually took a very long time. So I believe that I was very fortunate. There are a lot of people that I want to credit in the video, because I believe that it is because of them that all of this is possible. It is just not me. I was just standing there with the track and with the vision, but to make that vision come into reality, there were a lot of people who came together to do.
And I think that's important in you being humble as well, because I think it's the vision which is really very important in the first place, and then only once again, there's a very smaller percentage of people who know how to get that vision into that interpretation, which we see on screen.
Very
Absolutely.
True. Very
now,
true.
this is a non-entertainment question, but I really wanted to ask you this, because the idea and the conception, you have been talking about it for so long as well.
Yes.
To have the creative freedom to be able to do something, your brain onto the video, how did you feel? Or did you have some limitations from the channel or the sponsors or whatsoever?
Actually, our financiers, AAA Associates, they financed the entire project. They were very forthcoming. They were like, okay, this is your project, you take creative lead on it. We are not going to be pinpointing exactly what we want out of this project, so you have complete creative freedom on it. The audio production was done by Soch the band, and so the composition was done by me, and I wrote some part of the song. There are two other individuals involved in writing of the song.
Wow. Okay.
So again, like I said, it was a complete journey. It was not just okay, I had a vision, and that vision needs to come to life. It was just not like that. It was a very organic process. It started from just me singing a simple melody, then me taking that melody to another level, and then to another. So the vision kind of evolved, and when we actually had a different idea for the story, but because of our budgetary constraints, even though we spent a lot of money on this one, but the earlier vision I had for the video was extremely extravagant, and it required a lot more funding. Then I thought that okay, maybe for the next one we can do this. So we sort of had to curtail the idea down, and it eventually took the shape that you were saying today.
Right.
So. But again, the question that you asked, it was very, I feel like it was very empowering for me to actually be able to see what I was envisioning in my mind to be actually, represented in front of me.
And was it were you really happy with the outcome?
I definitely was. I was completely satisfied. And I knew that, okay, at the end of the day, even if people don't end up liking it, I know that me and my team, we put our heart and soul into this. and even if it doesn't go, it's all right. We did our best,
But
and
it's a
that's
banger.
all
And,
you
and
need
I
to do.
think that's what you're really supposed to do. You know, you do your bit, and then
Yes.
you ask Allah Almighty to kind
Yes.
of make
Yes.
sure Allah Mia please, you know, that
Yes.
it is being well received. And Alhamdulillah, you know, Allah heard you as well,
Yes.
and that now all of the people are listening to you as well, which is great. It's wonderful, and I think
Alhamdulillah.
that you're on a journey where, inshallah, you know, one day I'll actually be hosting you on a concert too as well, and that's
Inshallah,
what I
inshallah,
want.
inshallah.
But you know, this creative process, it's very tricky. So
It
what
is.
happens is that, you know, you write something, you have it in your mind, you go to a music composer or you compose it yourself, and then you kind of start listening to it, and then you
Yes.
make sure that your close friends are going to listen to it, your parents
Yes.
are going to listen to it.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, after a month's time, your moods change.
Change.
And then you think, okay, I think I need to redo this song.
Yeah.
You know, and I recall this because I've read this about Michael Jackson. Everybody's been a very huge fan of Michael Jackson all over the globe. So he used to, Shiza, record a song and then kind of change the music almost till the next 4 years, till the time he thinks that the
Yes.
song needs to go out, and it's still always, you know,
Yeah.
very catchy. So did you ever come across a thought or came across a thought where you thought, okay, I think that, you know, probably I should change the music, go to another composer, this is not the kind of music people are listening to these days?
Actually, I was very fortunate that we chose the right people for the job.
So it's bad.
So yeah, we knew, okay, for this
Great
I
guys.
wanted a very contemporary sound. I wanted a very at the same time I wanted some, you know, like old elements added into it. So I went with the melody, and lucky for me, Soch, the band normally doesn't do singles for other artists.
Yeah, yeah.
So my manager and the producer of the track as well, he did the production of the music video, Ahmed. He was actually good friends with Soch the band.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I have a very good melody. Why don't you just listen to the melody?
Yeah.
And if you like it, okay, then, you know, you can maybe start to work on it.
And even
And
I
it
think
was
just
just
a
a
few days
recording
ago.
on WhatsApp, and I sent it to them, and they were like, okay, yeah, we're interested in the melody, and only because of the melody. Your voice is all right, you can sing, but we are more interested primarily in the melody, and yes, we want to do it. So I was very fortunate, and then we went, and then I told him, okay, this is the kind of sound I'm looking for. I don't want it to be extremely preppy, but I don't want it to be very dull sounding as well. But obviously the track itself is Tu Mil Jaye, so there is a sense of longing in the track.
So there's something for everyone in it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what
But
I'm going
also,
to say.
don't you
Yeah.
feel like, were you looking for, probably it's a rhetorical question, but were you looking for, waiting for this season to launch a love song? Because, you know, that's
Yeah.
what a lot of artists do.
Actually, no. Because the song itself has some dark elements into it. So I knew from the very get-go that it's not going to be a very preppy video. And the video itself will be shot in a smoky environment and in a very cold, dark, dusty environment in order to get that feel encapsulated in the video.
Yeah.
So that is what you see eventually when you're looking at the video, that, okay, this is not just a contemporary song. It's just, you know, it's a complete story.
Yeah.
What's the story about? So the story itself is about longing, it's about that distance. So even if you are looking in the video, there is no single frame in which me and the girl are interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Because that is the purpose of the song.
maintain
It's
the
yeah.
distance.
Yes, to maintain the distance.
Which is why, you know, on a lighter note, I
it's
have a
the
couple
pandemic.
of questions. So, you know, while you were actually telling us all about the song and the video, I think I kind of got these amazing questions which I wanted to ask you. First things first, obviously, I don't know whether you want me to say it on national
Please, please.
television or not.
Please do.
And since we are going live, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. And that is that for somebody to envision such a music video, knowing that he's married,
Yes.
what kind of repercussions you might have come across after they have watched the video, that you have got a girl dancing right in front of you, Ahmed, yeah.
So
that's not happening.
interestingly, here is the very easy fix to that. My
Okay.
wife was also an executive producer of the video.
Wow.
So she was the one who selected the female lead.
Yep, yep.
She was the one present on the set and telling me, okay, no, you're very stiff. You need to be a little more, you know, inclined
Yeah, I saw
towards
that.
it.
Yeah, your dance is well as well.
So she was there and she was guiding me all throughout this entire process. So it's not like I had to go
Does
with
it
the
get
video.
awkward,
complete.
though?
That
I
was
mean,
that-
working with your co-workers or colleagues is just something else.
Yeah.
But friends / family that you know, does it get awkward a bit?
Not at all. Not at all. It's actually very, very fun, very organic process. So we are actually enjoying, and at the same time we are working. So I'm getting my feedback ASAP when I'm doing it. So I don't have to actually, you know, complete it and then go back and wait for the feedback.
Yeah.
So like I said, our production house host it's a trio. So it's my
Wildfire?
manager, Wildfire. So it's my manager Amir Zahid. He's also a very dear friend, and a very good resource overall on the set. And then there is my wife, who's taking care of the marketing and executive side of things, and then there's me, who's taking care of the creative part.
Wow.
So we don't interfere in each other's work. So we like very
whatever
dedicated.
they say, okay, that's
we
how
dedicated. Yes, we dedicated, and we delegate our work to each other. Okay, this is your domain, and then we don't cross check. We don't even tell them what to do, because we are so confident in each other's abilities. We know that okay, our vision will be realized even if we are not aligned. But I know okay, this is the destination I want to go to, and these two individuals are going to help me go there.
So what you've done is that you actually knew whose strength is what, and then you've utilized it that way, and it's great and it's bold and it's beautiful. I must admit to that as well. But why? Because it was quarantine, everybody definitely did delve into their creative process. There was not a lot to do, even though the drama industry was keeping up their work. You were busy, your latest projects, even you worked in Parizad as well. It's great, and it's all over the country and all over the world, and people are admiring it. Other than Aftab Iqbal, he actually took out a mistake in one of the share, so I think we'll discuss that later.
Right.
But now what I want to ask about is that imagine that, while you were in quarantine, I don't know whether you were in quarantine or not, but since people were isolating, you came up with the idea of "Jo tu mil jaye to."
Yes. No, actually.
Right? And then "Tu meri baatein sun le to pighal jayegi." So things like that. This creative process, it does kind of take you back to your relationships with your wife, with your mom, your father, your siblings as well. So how did you come up with these lyrics, even though there were two more other people, but every time you will give it a read, you will certainly have this feeling of longing with who? That's what I want to ask.
All right. So as I told you, this composition, I came up with this composition like about 6 years ago.
Wow.
And back then I wasn't married. And this song, the main inspiration was my wife.
I'm sorry for saying that, but you said that you officiated it when you were 27, but it started when you were 40.
Yes, yeah, but we weren't married, and even though we weren't married, but we were very close. So the entire conception of the track was her, and it's still here. Is, and I think I've wrote a couple of more songs that eventually you will be hearing out in the later years, inshallah.
Inshallah.
It was just that I was just sitting with my guitar, and I was in Karachi actually, and we were at a beach, and I just had my guitar, and I was just humming something, and her vision came to me, and I was just like that. The first line.
She watches this.
Wow, she's watching this. She's hello, man. How are you? Your husband's doing great today. But in addition to what you were humming, I think what we really want you to do is that there are a lot of singers who pretend to be singers, but they aren't really singers. I'm sorry to say that, which is why I actually chose to rap as well, because nobody's going to judge me for my singing. But we certainly want you to sing for our audiences out there in 46 different countries. If you can do that, because you were a musician in the first place while you were studying for finance in Australia, you were playing guitars. So I think it's not going to be a tough task for you.
Not really, but okay, if you say so.
Let's give it a try. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that Ahmed Taha Ghani is actually going to sing his debut song over here in the studios live for all of us. We do not have auto-tuners. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
तू मिल जाए तो भुला दूं ये जहां सारा, तू मिल जाए तो सवर जाए ये आवारा, तू मिल जाए तो भुला दूं ये जहां सारा, तू मिल जाए तो सवर जाए ये आवारा.
Wow, yeah, wow.
Super. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant, and I feel like Shahzad maybe wasn't expecting this, right? And the moment you started singing, we were blown away.
Yeah, I've actually shot a video of yours on Instagram.
Thank you.
And my producer was like, "Sir, can you put down your phone?" I was like, "No, man. This is an Insta-worthy moment, and I'm going to keep up with that." Which it is great. So, we've spoken about this. You always wanted to be a musician. So how did you end up acting in the first place and then singing in the second?
Right.
Or, sorry, a connected question as well. Because now I'm assuming, because you're on to all these mediums as well, media as well, is it your sort of personality? I mean, art, this form of art, performing art, is it your catharsis?
It is. I think it's my artistic expression. It's my way of viewing the world. And it's my way of communicating with the world, I'd say.
Okay.
That when I'm singing, I'm in my element. I'm really enjoying it. I have my eyes closed and I'm really one with nature. And when I'm acting, I'm really connecting with all sorts of other people, all sorts of other characters. That, for example, okay, if a person is going through some kind of disturbance in his life, what would he feel like? Okay, this is not me, this is somebody else. So it's my way of being empathetic, I believe, and it makes me more grounded, it makes me more centered, it makes me more aware of other people's needs.
Wow.
So that's my way.
really
And especially when people start to sing along as well, and then they know your lyrics, you certainly feel that, hey, you know what, I'm actually vibing with them, and it's a wonderful feeling, because I've witnessed it on a lot of shows, how people start to sing while the singer actually stops singing, and they're already singing, so they catch that vibe, which is great, and it's beautiful, and that's how you want people to be for you. And to be recognized in the first place, I think is great. The numbers on YouTube actually speak volumes about the success of your song, which is great.
Mashallah.
And I think we have kind of dissected it quite a lot. But moving ahead, now people are, obviously there's been a longer trend of producing singles, and it was all because of, I'm not going to name that music channel because they took all the rights from the singers themselves. And I hope that singers are not going to make the same mistake, because they weren't even allowed to go onto other TV channels. Imagine that's what the channels did by just purchasing their albums. And so eventually we saw that people have stopped producing albums. Do you have that in mind? Because a lot of work is going on. You have to go back and forth, Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, elsewhere. Do you think you'll be able to do justice with that?
I think if your goal is quite clear and simple, I think you can do whatever you want, right? So my goal with my music and my art is very simple. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here for accolades, for fame. I'm just doing this because I love it. I'm just doing this because I tend to make people feel happy. And if I can put a smile on a single person's face because of either my acting or my singing, I think that's all the accolade that I
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, from here onwards, Ahmed Ghani is not actually going to ask for a single penny for all the work he's going to do. No, but yes, obviously, that's a perk which is going to come along that. And I truly respect how you have actually put it in front of people as well. And I think people would love to see you smile as well in the first place. So it's either way. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Very true, very true.
Well, that's cute. So towards the end, I want to, with your acting experience, because now, mashallah, Ishqillah, is that how we pronounce it? That's getting big as well, mashallah. And it's just amazing. A lot of people recognize you for your work. Can we just know a little bit of what might be coming ahead for your fans out there as well?
Right.
And also, I don't know if you can put a finger to it. Do you like one better than the other?
I actually don't, because they completely do different plays and they do different characters.
No, I mean acting and singing.
Oh, okay, no.
Okay.
They're both. I think it's just like saying, okay, which hand do you like more?
No,
your left hand or right?
It's like asking whether you like your mother more or
father more, yeah, or your mother or your wife more. So they have their different functions, right?
Got it.
So it's just like it's very interchangeable. I believe, because a lot of people don't know, and I think this is something that I've recently stumbled upon. Acting is also very rhythmic. So if you, for example, every scene will have its own rhythm. Your co-star will have their own rhythm of the way they're nodding, the way they're moving their body, and the way that they're delivering dialogues. All of them, it needs to be in a perfect rhythm.
Right.
So that is why I say, okay, these are both interchangeable, because again, you're expressing yourself through music and you're expressing yourself through acting. So that's why it's basically the same thing for me. When I'm in the booth or when I'm performing in front of a crowd, I feel like that I'm acting in front of them. So I'm expressing myself in front of them.
And thank you very much for saying that, because it kind of made me nostalgic, because I think I was around 15 or 16 years old when I started doing radio. And the first person who taught me how to be on radio was like, just look at the clock and you see the seconds moving. So, even that tick is a rhythm, the heartbeat is a rhythm. Everything in life, ladies and gentlemen, is a rhythm.
Interesting.
So as soon as you start to learn to time your vocals, or probably the way you act or your movements, it just becomes acting. That's how people refer to it. But that rhythm, to have it in you in the first place, something when you will be able to understand what you're capable of doing, and only then you'll be able to portray that talent in front of people. So if you have that rhythm, please make sure you give us a beat.
And I believe acting is it's all about reacting. So acting is not like you've preconceived a specific notion that, okay, this is how I'm going to perform.
Right.
I believe acting is very fluid, it's very natural. You need to feel the scene, you need to let it come through you directly rather than, okay, you know, I'm
Trying
going
to do it.
yeah, I'm going to move my hand in a specific manner. Don't do that, you know. Don't
Just
look
let
at
it
yourself in front of the mirror, and don't don't make yourself conscious about the, you know, steps that you're be organic, be natural.
But I have a very interesting story to share here. So, you know, imagine my second play, I was doing it with Wasim Abbas with Rubina Ashraf Sahiba. It was a great play. It was played across the border as well.
Ali Dan.
Yeah, Ali Dan. And you know, when it got on air, so imagine everywhere else where I would go. So I was in Murray one day, and you know, all of a sudden, all of the aunties and everybody came around, like Ali Dan, Ali Dan, Ali Dan. I was like, very happy. And then all of a sudden, one woman was like, hey, you know what, you look such a good chap. Why did you do a negative character?
Yes.
And I was like, hey, you know what?
I just realized.
I just realized
it was a negative character. Yeah.
And then after that, you know, obviously whatever play I did, I had more focus on to what the character was like, and then did really study the entire script before doing it. But how was it for you? Did you actually ever come across in your initial days that, you know, you certainly didn't know how the actor is going to turn out to be on television? Did that happen to you?
With Majid it did, because in Parizad I played
Pari,
Majid. So initially the character, even though I was told the character is very grey, I wasn't told that it was going to be showed in negative light. It's a very grey character, and in the beginning it's going to be very, you know, one-sided, and it's going to be, because I don't want to reveal the story for people who haven't actually seen it. So, and it's going to be completely different towards the end, and you're going to enjoy it. And I'm like, okay. And I was more interested and inclined towards doing a negative character, because, you know, in the previous all the dramas that I've did, they're very, you know, like very sweet, innocent characters. So I wanted to, you know, try and experiment and try to, you know, go outside of my box and try to do something different with this. And I actually enjoyed doing it. So, but now every time I go around, like, people are asking me, where is your wife? Your wife is off to meet another man. What are you going to say about it? I'm like,
oh no.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that wasn't me. That's the writer. I'm just an actor. This is not my job.
But that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for taking out time and for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation, especially when you share the same vibe and positivity. And that's what I get off you as well, alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
But to wish you best of luck. Thank you very much for such wonderful musical contribution to the industry. At the same time, while you're actually contributing towards the screen of the industry as well. Thank you very much once again. And all the best for your future endeavors. And Bobby, he's all yours.
Thank you.
I'm sure she knows that. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on Monday, inshallah. Actually, it's a surprise. Tomorrow we're going to have a special transmission, of course. We will be celebrating the birth anniversary of the father of the nation, along with Christmas with our Christian brethren over here in the country as well. Stay tuned for that. But right now, of course, we have to sign off. You will be getting the latest news in just a minute. Till the next time, take care. Good morning.
Jummah Mubarak.